Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I want to talk about a new product that my friends at TetherTools sent over for me to try out. And it's not this cable that's sitting here, but I wanted to point this out because they did the same thing a year ago. They sent me one of their new cables, which is a 10 gigabyte data only cable. And what this does is it just transmits the data from your camera to the computer, allowing it to last a whole lot longer. And I just want to point out, I'm still using the cable that they sent over here. I've got one other one that I have for a backup, but this guy is still going strong, and I've never had a cable last as long as this one. And I just want to point that out. I also want to point out it's fun to do videos for companies like TetherTools that actually are in business to make our lives easier as photographers, as commercial photographers. And I also want to add that this is not a sponsored video. They did send me the products that I'm going to show in this video. The only reason I'm making this video is because these products make it into my workflow, and I would not make a video for them or any other company that's touting some product just to make video. So I just want to put that out from the onset as we jump into this, because I'm really excited about this new product, and you'll see some behind the scenes clips from me using the product that I'm going to show, which is this AeroTrac system here. So they call it a workstation system, but it's the AeroTrac Table, which is kind of the centerpiece of the system. And what you've probably seen with the behind the scenes clips is this linked into their roller stand and everything else that can go along with it. And it really creates an impressive setup for your clients, first of all, but then it's also very functional as the photographer. These days, the fastest way to, I guess, transmit the images to a computer is using the newer laptops. And those screens are fairly small, and I find a lot of times on sets, there are a lot of people there, they will crowd around the screen. It makes it hard for me to view it at the same time, and which I like to do as I'm shooting, just to kind of check myself. Obviously I can see in the camera too, but it's good to see on a larger screen. But this whole workstation setup allows me to basically have the best of both worlds. I've got the laptop, and then I've got a larger screen on top of the roller stand that you'll see. We'll go through everything here in a little bit. But this table has come so far from, let me show you what I used to use way back before I started using an iMac, but this is one of their original tables, I believe, and it's just a solid piece of, I'm guessing this is like aluminum. You got a pad on here. This is the strap that would hold your laptop in place, which I wouldn't really trust too much if it went toppling over during a shoot. But just a big piece of metal, and there's a case that it came with and stuff like that, but it's really big and cumbersome to travel with. This will still be viable for like a permanent type setup in a studio, but this day and age, they've come out with this product now, and they've made it so compact. Let me just show you that it makes it easy to potentially take this on the road with you, or just travel around with it. And this is the carrying case. And let me just point out from the onset, a lot of these products that we use in photography come with these fancy cases, or they have options to get cases, which either I usually never use or never get for them. But I do feel like this is a viable case, and the way this table breaks down, it really serves a purpose, unless you have another case that is along the same lines. But let me just show you. You've got two sides to it. On one side, I keep my cables. So I've got got an overhead camera here. I can show some of this. I've got like my HDMI cables here. These are backups. And then there's some accessories that come with it, or you can get for this table, and you can keep all the accessories kind of in one of the slots here. It's also got a carrying strap and those types of things. So that's one side, and then the other side is where the table is. And so let's just get this guy out, and we can talk about it. I'm going to put this case down, but I recommend that case. But let's just look at this. Hopefully you can see this from up above. You can see this like a rail system here that you can see from the top here on the top side of the table and on the back side of the table, where you can get all these different accessories to mount into this table. They all come with set screws that you can potentially see in here. They give you the Allen wrenches here so you can loosen and tighten these guys and move them basically anywhere you want to. You can configure this basically however you would like to. Now since it folds open, you've got a slide here that will move over. You tighten that down, and then the table will maintain its form here. You got a little carrying handle that you can use to transport it around if you need to move it around from your setups. On the bottom, I've got some of the accessories that they sent over. I'll show some of the boxes here. So these are the tech straps right here. So this is what I use to hold my external SSD. This day and age, the laptop memory is so expensive that I am always moving my files straight into an external drive, and so this will, as I'll show everything set up here in a minute, but this makes it nice and tidy to stick my SSD underneath as my computer's on top. We've got some workstation legs here that are on the corner, so if you're just setting up on like a table potentially, you can just have it, I guess, raised up from the table. You can also set up the, probably just like the ones on this end. If you like to work on a slope or a little bit of a slant, you can set it up that way. And let's see, some of the other ones here. This is another very useful one that I found, and this is just a hook. And I use this to hold my tethering cable, and I'll show this too. But this holds the excess cable. This is a 30-foot cable, which is a nice luxury to have if you need the distance. So what I'll do is unwind what I need and have it connect to my camera, and then the other end obviously to my computer. The rest of it I'll hang on this hook here. And where this really came into play was one of my recent shoots with the Philadelphia Flyers NHL team up there in Philadelphia. And I guess obviously not this past year, but the year before, I didn't have this table, and I was tethered, used that same cable there, and the majority of that cable was just on the ice or on a mat on the ice. And as the day went on, it got stiffer and stiffer because of the temperature, and made me pretty nervous that something could break within that cable. But this year, having this set up that I'm showing you behind the scenes clips from, I was able to use this hook to loop that cable onto, which made things a lot better in that regard. But let me show also, there's an accessory, what do they call this? A retractable cup holder here, and this is pretty fun. So if you have your coffee on set or whatever, you can have it, you can pop it in here, or you can put your phone in here, or another hard drive, what have you. And they also, with these rails here on their website, they've got I guess the schematics or plans for 3D printing, so you can download those if you have a 3D printer and print out your own mods that you might want to put on here. And like I said, it's basically cold shoe adapt. Anything with a cold shoe can work into these rails. These right here are the tech clamps. So these you store on this side of the table, and once you put your laptop on this side, you will slide these into the rails just like that. And this is, once again, this will be a closer look kind of at how these rails work. So you can kind of see that. So they just simply slide in to those there, and then you would slide your laptop underneath these. You'll see it in a minute, and tighten it down, which is a much stronger system than that strap that I showed you on the table that I used to use years and years ago. These two right here are like magnetic tabs that keep the table closed when you do close it up. I might not have pointed that out from the beginning, but now seeing them there, I just thought I would avoid getting the questions later. But let's jump from here. We'll go take a look at the full setup on the roller stand and see how everything kind of comes together to create such an impressive workstation. Now, how cool is this setup? So this is the full tethering workstation as I have it configured and as I've used it on my last couple of photo shoots. And I do have to say it's an impressive way to capture your work and show it for your clients and have them on set and be able to collaborate during a photo shoot, which I find is very important this day and age, and just an amazing way to set yourself apart from other photographers. Once again, I would not be showing all this to you if I was not using this on the regular in my workflow. So that's another thing I just wanted to point out as we run through this. So let's just do that, and we'll talk about the stand first. And this is what TetherTools calls their low boy roller stand. So you've got wheels down there, and so you'll be able to, if you have multiple setups and need to move around during a photo shoot, it's easy to do. You can do that obviously right there. Just grab the stand and roll it with you. I've actually made it even more mobile. I've added a Anker battery pack over here where I can power my monitor and my computer right there without being plugged into the wall. So that is one addition that I've made, and I'll discuss more of them as we run through kind of this setup here. Another thing that you'll have to think about is the monitor that you'll want to add to it. I went with a 27-inch. This is a Asus monitor. It's got a matte finish. I'm photographing in a lot of different locations, and I didn't want a glossy screen that could, have reflections that could be distracting for my clients that want to see all the images that come across. So that matte screen has worked really well for me. Like I said, this is 27 inches, the same as the IMAX that I used to use. You could probably go to 32, but I would not probably recommend going too much bigger on the top of a stand like this here. But let's look right here at the star of the show, which is the AeroTrac Table. Here are the tack clamps that I showed there at the end of the first part of this video. And they are very securely holding this laptop, unlike the strap that I used to use way back in the day. Over here is that little drink holder or cup holder, or you could put your phone in here. You could put, your client could put his phone in here or her phone, another hard drive, what have you. It's just a neat option to have, or you can just slide it out of the way. You can see the tether cable coming in here to the USB-C, HDMI running up to the monitor up there. Let's go down here and look at this hook. Like I was talking about earlier, this is where I'm putting my cable, like that NHL shoot. I could keep it off the ice like this. Keeps things nice and neat on the ground down there. And so what I found I do when I go to set this up is I'll bring the cable up to the computer, hang it there, and then reel out enough slack to connect my camera. If I need more cable during the course of a shoot, I can just unravel it off of that there. Let's talk about how the table is connected to the stand. I've got a master clamp there, and this is what they call a sidearm. Yeah, they call it the rock solid master sidearm right here. And then it connects it to this adapter here that connects the table. I've also added another master clamp there, or magic clamp, they call them different things. And another arm here, which then I can connect my camera to, and that way I have somewhere to place my camera during a photo shoot if I need to put it down. Then on this side of the computer, you can see I've got the USB-C running to my external SSD drive, which then is in the tech straps underneath here, nice and neatly tucked away. And as I mentioned, you can configure all of this stuff, specifically to your needs, which is really cool. This whole system is pretty amazing. Let's talk about the monitor. TetherTools has a monitor mount, a VESA mount, that you will come with this kit. I also added a rotating part of this mount here, which I will link below. So if I am on a photo shoot and I'm shooting vertical, I can change my workspace and I can rotate that monitor where it's in a vertical orientation. Overall, I just wanted to run through this real quick and show y'all how this comes together. The most important part is seeing it actually in use on set and just how impressive it is when your clients interact with something like this. Speaking of clients interacting, I want to point out one more thing. You can rotate these items. So if you see on the NHL, once again, going back to the NHL shoot, I'm on one side working with the laptop, and then my clients, I could rotate the screen over, and then they were off to the other side looking at the screen. And that just cleared up the traffic that normally can get between me and my laptop on a photo shoot like that in the past. I would, sometimes if you have a lot of people on set, they like to get around and see what's going on and can block your view as the photographer. So once again, this is how I've configured it to come together. If you got any comments, questions, drop those down below, and I'll be happy to do my best to try and answer those for you. Since I'm currently getting all my gear together for a photo shoot, and I haven't finished this video yet, I thought I would add how I pack this tethering setup together and take it with me locally for a photo shoot. And what I use mainly is just this monitoring case or monitor case. And this is the 30-inch monitor case, which I will link down below. I've got my monitor in here with that VESA mount still attached. I've got the carrying case holding all my cables and the AeroTrac table, which slides right in here. And then finally, the other piece is the sidearm with the mounting bracket for the rolling stand, which obviously is not going to fit in here. So this packs separately, but everything else packs really nice and neatly in this bag. You can zip it, Velcro it. It's a nice narrow profile. I would not check this on an airplane probably with, with the monitor in here. If I want to take the extra arm for my camera mount, this will go in my stand bag. And then if I want to go fully mobile, I will take this power pack, this Anchor power pack separately as well. But I just thought I would show this since I'm putting this all together, and it really goes together nice and neatly and is very easy to transport. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's really been a minute since I've been that excited about some equipment that I can add to my workflow that can help elevate just the whole photo shoot experience for me and my clients. And I really wanted to come on here and share that with y'all. And as I've also said too, I wouldn't have this out here and wouldn't be showing y'all this and creating this video if I didn't believe in it myself or I wasn't using it myself. So if you feel like this video is worthy, please hit that thumbs up button. You'll see more content just like this in the future. Hit that subscribe button there and the little bell so YouTube will let you know when I'm back on here. Any comments, questions, I know I said that earlier too, drop those down below. Y'all stay safe and healthy out there. Find me on Instagram at QuantsPhoto as well as ProLight Mods, and I will see y'all again soon in the next one.